I'm dead to the world for the next foreseeable future here, sitting down with the one and only Adam Molina.
Yep, what's up?
Welcome to this Juan time. Tonight I am graced by Adam Molina's presence here. We are sitting in his studio. Is this Tempe, Arizona?
Oh, that's Mesa.
Still Mesa.
Yeah.
So on the border of Mesa, Tempe and Mesa. And it is called IF Studios.
What's that? Tattoo studio.
IF Tattoo Studios.
Yeah.
And right next to the conservatory, I was just mentioning, I have experience with a lot of folks that went to that schooling there. And you got a really, really nice shop here, man. And you have mentioned how you guys are a collective here.
Yeah, I would say it's a collective space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very nice shop from what I can see the short time I've been here. And I'm excited to really pick at your brain and see what you've been up to, man, because we haven't really talked in the longest time. And you were the guy to tattoo me. Actually, the only guy to put ink in me.
Yeah, we need to do something about those tattoos, too. I don't need them all tattoos.
This
Yo,
is like,
man, I got you, man.
Like when you take Art 101 and then next, you're at 202, 303, and so on and so forth. And then you look back. Yeah, I got some of your first work on me, man.
I know it is original, but we gotta go over it with some new stuff, some new ideas, new perspectives.
Well, I love it, man. I always admire it, and I admire your hustle. You've stuck with it. You've been at it like a madman for what now? 10 years?
Yeah, almost 10 years, I would say.
Yeah. So what got you into tattooing?
Shoot, what got me into tattooing, man? I think it's just the culture that I grew up around, that Mexican, Latino.
A lot of Aztec.
Yeah, I think just being around it because I was around the tattooing a lot when I was younger. It was a lot of house tattoos, but
So how old were you when you first kind of like noticed and started admiring tattoos?
Man, probably about 9 or 10 years old or something.
Yeah.
When I was around it, I think my older cousin, he's in prison right now, but he was doing them tattoos until he got locked up. But yeah, I was exposed to it early on, and just the culture, like I said,
Yeah.
I think tattoos been around a lot. I think in probably every culture, anyways, there's always some type of like sector of people getting tattooed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some sort of permanent, skin scarring or inking, really.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, yeah. Ink. The Polynesians are very famous for all the tribal tattoos, and the Samoans.
Yeah.
A lot of again with the Mexican culture, I think it's a lot of Aztec philosophy or spirituality or whatever you
I think
refer to it.
Coming from like the gangster cholo era, you know what I mean? They got tattooed, so that's what I was exposed to early on. Other probably like bikers were getting tattooed. If you're Caucasian or whatever, white, you're probably exposed to that. If you're around, your father was a biker or something, then you're exposed to that.
Yeah, back in the day, a tattoo was a sign of somebody that was fucking badass, right? And nowadays, you get all kinds of walks of life that are, brave enough to do it as it gets more culturally acceptable.
Yeah, it's been really streamlined. It's growing though exponentially still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first started tattooing, somebody had told me it's a fad. And I'm like, man, tattooing's been around for thousands of years.
Especially like a fad. And when did you start? So when was your like first tattoo, like that you put on somebody?
Probably when I was like 15.
Damn.
And that was like homemade machine.
Homemade machine. So what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What goes into a homemade tattoo?
Man, you just need some type of device that has a motor in it.
Okay.
Usually like a tape deck.
Okay.
Or anything has a motor in it. But when I was doing it, I used to go to this hobby shop and they sold motors. So you just buy a motor, get some guitar strings.
Yeah.
There's different sizes. Get you a file so you can file it down to make it sharp. And then just various other little things to put it together. Rubber bands, some, empty ink tubes,
So all in all, what, $33.27, and you're up and running?
Yeah, drilling people out, man.
Do you remember the first design you did?
I think the first time I tattooed my uncle,
Oh shit.
he got his wife at the time, her initials. I remember it was drilling him out though, because I didn't know what the fuck I was really doing.
Yeah.
I just seen it done before, so I didn't really know how to apply it. I was never.
Well, that's one of the things. It's like, how do you practice being a tattoo artist if not on people?
Man, you just do it, man.
Yeah, you just have to take that dive, right? And then you have to
Yeah.
find somebody that's willing to support you
Yeah.
in your dream, in your crazy ass dream, man.
Now they have this company is called Pound of Flesh, and they make a lot of different like variations of. They make like a flat thing you could work on.
Yeah.
But it's pretty realistic though now. So
Damn.
if you wanted to practice and get into it, you wouldn't have to. You don't really necessarily have to pierce skin. You can just do but it's expensive though. So
Like, what are we talking? Like $300?
Nah, I think you buy like an arm. It's like
Bro, so you're telling me that you can get pulled over right now in the trunk, there'd be like fake arms and legs.
Yeah.
I'm a tattoo artist, dude. I'm a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I got some limbs up in there. And shit. It's weird too. It's like really, I don't know. It's pretty realistic. So
Yeah.
yeah, probably like $150 for an arm and a hand.
Yeah,
together.
that's a lot, man. Because it depending on how deep you were into it, as far as how bitten by the bug you were. I mean, you might burn through that arm pretty quick, practicing.
Yeah. You can go over it though too. But yeah, most of it though is used for like artists that already, a lot of them experience. So they do like, full on pieces on there and then use it for display,
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy what they can do on those.
Damn, I have to look that up. What was it called again?
Pound of Flesh.
Pound of Flesh. Yeah. So tell me, has your uncle got a cover up over his wife's initials that you gave him?
I saw him like family reunion, I think last year.
Yeah.
And he showed me it. It was like barely there. You could barely even see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, no, don't worry, mijo. I just don't put sunscreen on that part.
Yeah. I think he's remarried now, so you don't really care about it too much.
He's like, I'll just let it be.
Yeah.
So 15 when you first really tattooed somebody, and then so we met in 2008.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I think it's 2007 when we.
It sounds about right.
Yeah,
for sure 2008.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I remember we were working at the same job, and then did we get laid off at the same time?
Yeah, we all got laid off
when the recession hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that was November of 08, and then January 09 I got the job that I've been working at since then. And 09. When did you start working at that one studio with Thea Fear, right?
Yeah,
What's her name?
Yeah, Thea.
So she's the one that kind of like took you under her wing a little bit too.
Yeah.
Did you learn a lot?
I think it was kind of y'all. You were a part of that whole string of decisions to be where I'm at now, because I remember you tagged me. Right?
Yeah, I remember. I don't know how I became friends with her. She was looking on Facebook. But I do remember when we were working that job, you were tattooing a lot of people at work.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're into tattoos? I'm like, cool. And then somehow I was friends with this tattoo artist, and she was like, hey, I just moved from Cali back to Arizona. I opened up a shop. I'm looking for artists. And I was like, I know a guy that's doing it.
Man.
Here you are. You went out, met her, and the rest is history, man. You were in there like 2 months later, and I was like sitting in that chair.
Looking back where I was at mentally, like creatively, like I was just so like just adolescent in this, you know what I mean? Even though I've been drawing most of my life,
Yeah.
But I was taking on a different form of it because it was, going on people's skin.
Yes.
And, all that matters, composition, everything. So I was just like really so new to it. I look back now, I'm like, man, I can't believe people let me tattoo them. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. That's how it's got to be. But that's the issue. That's not the issue, but that's just the way of it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, looking back on it, yeah, you can definitely laugh at it and be like, wow, man, people were crazy. But it's like it got you to where you are now.
Yeah.
And the respect that you get.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy how we got the layoff, how something like that, a negative will equal out to a positive, you know what I mean? Because if that didn't happen, I'm sure we'd probably be working there for a longer period of time.
Oh, for sure, man. You get complacent.
Because
you're like,
we're,
this is what
comfortable
I know.
there.
This is what I know. You're like, I'll just keep tattooing people, irregularly every now and then. And this forced you to really, like we were talking earlier, become a provider. You this is what you're going to rely on. So you jumped head first.
Yeah, it definitely did.
seems to be working out.
It was scary, man. It was going through the years. I think I'm sure other people that are in a creative field or career, you know, they're pursuing that you can get burnt out creatively. So if you're not, you know, because you have so much passion in what you're doing,
Yeah,
and you're just constantly doing it, and you feel like everything's okay, but then you don't realize you're burning yourself out, you know.
yeah.
So I went through that. Also, just the learning curve, you know. I was like, man, question yourself. Every tattoo artist I've met, they all question themselves.
Yeah.
To be like, man, should I really be doing this? Because it's difficult, you know. It's not something. I was talking to an artist the other day about that. I'm like, because somebody was talking about how we get paid and everything. I'm like, man, what we're doing is we're in a specialized trade. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, this is rare. Like, not a lot of people are capable of doing what we do. Maybe if they even tried it, maybe they might get so far, but not get that as far. That's why there's, you know, a handful of good tattoo artists are potentially good tattoo artists.
Yeah.
And there's like a ton of not really good, potentially good tattoo
for
artists.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
Well, people just half-ass it, man. That's just natural, you know. Oh, I want to try this out, and then it's just like you half-ass it. But if you do what you did, where it's like, yo, this is what I'm having to rely on. I'm having to rely on my creativity, my hard work, my ingenuity to make a living and provide. Like, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's like everything else that people become successful in is, you know, initially you're doing it because you have a passion in doing it. You know, you have a drive.
Yeah.
You have artistic drive. You have a creative drive. So you feed off of that going into it. Some people, you know, or a lot of people probably start just because it looks glamorous to them. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Well, you always just see like the 0.5%.
They think they're going to be tattooing asses and getting paid all kinds of money. You know what I mean? All the time. That's not the case, though. It's the opposite, you know?
Hey, there's a porn star born. There's 2 porn stars born every day, and they all need a tramp stamp. I'm going to be that guy.
Hey, if you market yourself that way, you probably can.
Yeah, isn't Casting Couch just up the way here? that black leather couch.
Yeah, it's right out there in the lobby up there.
What would yeah right. So what kind of advice would you give somebody right now that may be listening to this and, you know, is on not on the fence, but maybe just even thinking about, man, you know, I like to draw, I like to do this, like I would like one day maybe like to become a tattoo artist. Like, what advice do you give them, knowing, you know, 10 years now, 10 years that you've taken it serious? But
yeah, man, I mean, just like anything, you have to, if you're gonna dive into something like that, you have to go, you know, head in. But, you know, your life might not allow it at first. You know, you might have to ease into it. You know, if you have obligations already set, family and stuff like that. But if you are able to, you know, be home with your parents, whatever, and then take advantage of that time, I would say jump right into it, you know?
Yeah.
But first and foremost, you need to have some type of creative drive, some type of artistic drive.
Yeah.
That's been with you for a long time, because if you have that, then you have the potential to get far in this business, you know? And it has been around for a little while, but there's still plenty of, you know, there's plenty of room for good tattoo artists in this tattoo, you know, space. So
yeah, that's you know, I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan's podcasts, and he always mentions, when it comes to comedians, like back in the 90s, there was the famine mentality where it was like, you know, talk everybody else down, everybody else's work down, like not collaborate, because, you know, if you become successful, then that's just taken away from my opportunity. But
yeah,
in this day and age, there's just so much potential out there that if you just, you know, reach out to somebody and support them and encourage them, and then, you know, link up with them and their people, that it's only going to bring you up.
Right.
So instead of like saying like, oh, don't become a tattoo artist because now you're potentially taken away from my business. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, no, maybe they can bring more people, more eyeballs in, and then they see your work and they're like, oh man, I really like, you know, the way this guy, you know, tattoos people, and I want to get a piece done by them. Yeah,
it's definitely a network now, right? Infrastructure for that, for people to market themselves, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Before there wasn't, you know, they had classifieds and shit, you know. So.
Yeah, on Backpage. I'm like,
hey. Imagine advertising yourself as a tattoo artist on freaking New Times or something like that, and that's all you had to look at, you know.
That's so
It wasn't
true.
much to go off of.
Yeah, now you got Instagram, and you got a pretty nice camera right there, man. So
Yeah,
when you're done, like you can take like a dope ass photo and really promote it.
Yeah.
Throw it up on Instagram and get all your followers to like it and share it. And then next thing you know, you got fucking 2 or 3 leads from this one other person, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's big too, collaborating with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's times where you need to like really be, have your own, in your own comfort space where you're creating stuff, but then also collaborating with other people, you know, being around other creative people that are in the field that you're trying to be in, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So does that excite you? Does that excite you, like seeing somebody that does something really good?
It really boosts my morale, you know what I mean? Coming here where I'm at now, transitioning from being in my little studio space, you know, working solo. Yeah, it's a big difference, man. I'm super motivated. Yeah, so it's been cool just being able to be around everybody that's
doing good work.
Yeah, doing like really good work, you know?
Yeah, so that like kind of pushes you a bit, you know, because I can see some people being like, man, like this guy's really good. I'll never be that good. Or, you know, just looking at the negative side of it, like, oh, I wish I would have came up with that piece like that. But in the sense, you use that as fuel and be like, man, that is awesome. I'm inspired. Let me go sketch something dope out too, so I can bring that to the table.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we all feed off of each other.
Who have been some of your biggest mentors then in the tattooing realm?
I haven't really had a direct mentor that was mentored by. You know what I mean? I was kind of, you know, got influenced or got some from a little bit from everybody I worked with so far. I think we have somebody in here. One of the guys is named call him Leche, but he's been tattooing for about 2 years.
What's his name?
We call him Leche. His name is Mario.
Leche? Okay.
Yeah.
I said batshit, so I just need to make sure, dude. Like, this is batshit crazy or something? Leche.
No, he's been tattooing 2 years, and he's, you know, that's fresh in the game. But we all know, I mean, I already told him, like, man, bro, you're better than all of us 2 years in.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because he's around us, you know what I mean? So he's growing super fast, you know what I mean? So you're going to get better, you know what I mean? Even in your personal life, you know what I mean? The people you surround yourself, you're going to become the average of the people you're around, you know?
Beautiful, yeah.
So that's a big thing. You want to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, maybe at the same level as you, you know what I mean?
Dude, no, that's a great point. I just listened to another podcast the other day where it was talking about the three people in your life or something along the lines, but it's like you should be what is it? One, you should have somebody in your life that you're a mentor to. You should have somebody in your life that you're an equal to, and then you should also have somebody in your life that's mentoring you still.
Right.
And that way you're kind of complete, you know, like you got your equal that you guys kind of bounce ideas off of, but then you got the guy that's like, hey man, look at it from this way, I'm wiser than you. And then you got the guy that you're passing your knowledge to. So I could say maybe the guy that's been here for 2 years, that's the guy that you're kind of passing off some knowledge to. And then of course you got some guys in here that you would say, well, he's my equal. Whether you have somebody that is you would consider a mentor, that's yet to be seen, I guess. But
wherever you pull that from too, you could pull that from, like, you know, social media or like, you know, any like podcast you watch, you know, if you pull that mentorship from all these different places.
Yeah.
But for me, like, you know, I tattoo a lot of young people, so you know, I play that role a little bit, mentoring people, you know what I mean, giving my advice, my experiences, because I'm usually older than all the people I tattoo, so which they think I'm not though, but I'm like, bro, you're like 10 years off. I'm like 38, not 26.
Yeah,
27. Yeah, all the time.
You still looking swole as ever, man. You eating your spinach.
I eat garbage, bro. Everybody assumes that I eat so healthy all the time. I don't know why.
Your body just puts it where it needs it, man.
Right, perfectly. Right in the arms. In the chest.
So what's the funkiest tattoo that's come up to you that you had to turn down?
Oh man, I'm trying to think what the recent one was that I sometimes turn down tattoos here and there. And that's a good thing about this though, is that I got to the point though where I can turn down stuff. You know, that's nice.
Oh man, yeah, that's right. I'm sure you were at a point where you were just like, I gotta take what I can.
Take wherever. I could tell you probably one of the worst ones I remember doing though. It was this girl. She got literally she came with her boyfriend, and then you could tell that he was influencing her or pressuring to get the tattoo. But I'm like, what do you guys want to get? What do you want to get done? She's like, well, he's like, she's going to get my name.
Oh, fuck.
His middle initial, last name, but it's going to say property of, though.
Oh, my God. Oh.
So I was like, really? I'm like, man. Where I was at, though, like, shop I was at, there was nothing ethical going on at that shop. So, you know what I'm saying? Ethics wasn't a thing. So you just do whatever people want. It doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, I mean, they're grown adults. They're here.
They're not really grown adults.
I mean, I say that lightly.
Man.
I say that lightly. I didn't feel like an adult till like at least 29 or 30. Dude. I'm 31
think they're
now.
making the right decision, but they look back.
Hell no, man.
They were in no position to be making those type of decisions. But I think the decision was already made for her, So she got the property of his name, his middle initial, last name.
Yeah. So like, of course you keep up with them and they're doing well. They got 4 kids, all in straight A's.
They're doing great.
So.
Mm-hmm. They're thriving.
They're thriving. Oh man, that is fucking crazy.
I wish I
knew. Initial is what puts it over the top, dude.
Man, yep, not the property of. That's definitely not.
That's super bad, but you get very specific when you throw that middle initial in there.
Yeah.
Because how many Juan Montoyas are there? Dude? I have 2 immediate cousins named Juan Montoya, and my mom wanted to name my little brother Juan Montoya as well, but we would go by our middle names. So that name is fucking all around. So that middle initial makes a difference.
Yeah, I wish I knew the name. I wish I knew the girl though. Actually, still, because I would cover it up for free now.
Oh shit! Hey girl, what tattoo shop were you at?
It's called See You Looking.
See You Looking.
Yeah.
In what was it, Gilbert?
In Chandler.
In Chandler, Arizona. Circa, what year is this? 2014, 2016?
Probably like 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Girl. White girl, black girl?
Mexican girl. All Mexican people girl. Coming through there.
All right, Mexican girl. If you got a tattoo 2013 in Chandler,
Property
Arizona, from this swole ass motherfucker over here, dude. Looks like he benches about 320. Please reach out to IF Tattoo Studios in Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, I got you.
And let's get that motherfucker covered up.
Recover up.
Property of blank, blank, and blank.
It's either last name's probably Hernandez or something like that.
Hernandez.
Rodriguez Garcia
and Ez or something. Oh, God, you just went to Garcia. So on a lighter note, I guess, or not even a lighter note, because I do want you to get a little bit deep on this one. What's one of the more touching pieces that you had done? Maybe something that brought a tear, like hearing the story or seeing the person react to your work.
Man, I'm trying to think. I don't do a lot of those tattoos. I think the last one I can remember, there's probably one more recent though, but I remember one this lady, she had got it. It was a very small tattoo, semicolon.
Yeah.
But it was the lady, some girl was living with her and she committed suicide, but they didn't know that she was dead until like 2 days later.
After the piece. After
she was dead.
Oh, okay.
Because she never came out the room or something. They didn't know if she was there or not.
Oh, no.
So that was pretty intense. Because then, you got this person that died in your house. You know what I mean? As far as like sad though, I'm trying to think of nothing. Nobody losing their kid, right? More people lose their parents or something, or grandparents, but nobody losing their kid, like a kid tattoo. That's probably the most tragic thing right there. Is
for sure.
Losing your kid, So I haven't really tattooed anybody that would lose their kid. That one would really impact me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're a father.
Yeah. I can't like watch stuff that has to do with kids. You know what I mean? I can't.
It's a cop out. You watching a movie and they want to make it sad and they have like some kid dying. You're like, you sons of like that's cheap, man.
I turn it off, man. I can't watch this stuff. Man. Come on. We got enough kids dying where we need to make movies about it.
Yeah. No, that's definitely
or being terrorized by somebody.
The helpless, man. You're a champion of the helpless. It seems like there, Adam.
Yeah, I'm just a father, man.
It changes you, right?
It does, man. You know what? I used to think my little one self existence in the world didn't matter. You know what I mean? 'Cause one of billions, right?
Of course.
So once I had a kid, that totally changed my perspective. Because then I looked back generations, Just a string of decisions of all of my, my grandpa, my dad, I don't know, his dad, so on. It's all a string of, it's all connected, right? So, I don't know which direction my kid's gonna go to, and his kids, and their kids, and then so on.
Yeah.
It can impact the world. Just your one seed. You know what I mean? Your one
It really
offspring.
can, man.
So it's a big impact just being the father, and also just in raising your little boys and stuff like that to change the world as far as like being a man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And changing the definition of what a man is, because the definition of man is changing constantly, right?
Yeah.
So that's very important to me.
Are you referencing maybe in being a little bit more in touch with like the emotional side?
Yeah, because I think back in the day, people or women had to fall in love with the killers, the protectors, like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's how they had to survive. You know what I mean? And then it kind of tapered off from that, but the men still had to be the ones that were, absent in the house, present at work. They spent most of their time working and commuting to work or whatever. But I think in the future, so back in the day, people were role mates. You know what I mean? People had to play the role. Now I think in the future, though, our position to make relationships work is going to be more of soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
So that requires men to be like more of a communicator.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I have such a hard time with that shit, dude. Just communicating my emotions. She'd be like, "Where's this coming from?" And I was like, "Nowhere." Like I'm just like, this is just a thought. And she's like, "No, think about it." And I'll just like be thinking about it. I was like, "Oh shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I have been dwelling on this a little bit, which caused this, and so on and so forth."
We're right there, man. We're on the verge of that transition right now. I think what it is that we haven't really spoke up. You know what I mean? We've been too busy. I mean, that's kind of how it is, like man up type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like don't complain. So we're we're right there at the brink of that transition right now, that we're going through the evolution of men. So it's important for us to teach our kids to be able to not be super emotional or anything like that, because we don't operate that way, but to be able to communicate better,
to be in touch with your emotions, and figure that out, not just shove it down and fucking drown it down with some sort of vice.
Yeah.
No, totally, man. Makes total sense. I mean, that's how relationships are going to be better. Whether with it's your immediate spouse, family, or friends. The more you can be in touch with your emotions,
like your intellect. You're not reacting so much off of emotion, but more intellect, and that's what we got to teach our kids.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Because we don't operate because. Well, I mean, how do men operate anyways? We hormones, right?
Yeah,
hormones are everything.
Yeah, chemicals.
Yeah, everything's a chemical reaction, right?
That's all we are, man.
So hormones, testosterone is a performance hormone, so we have that burden of performance naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And, women are opposite; they're on a roller coaster of the cycles. They're cyclic and stuff. So, testosterone is not like sensitive, you know what I mean? It's aggressiveness.
Oh, for sure.
So that's what we've been operating off that. So we gotta learn how to balance that out.
Yeah, get more in touch with your inner self, and not shy away from maybe seeing a therapist or a psychologist.
That's all good. That's good.
Searching for your own spirituality, whether it's through meditating, through your own sort of prayer, or just reflection.
Right.
It's something we don't do enough. I don't do enough, man. I'm constantly consuming information. I got a podcast going on, some YouTube videos, something. I don't take a moment to kind of like sit and be like, okay, so how am I feeling right now, or what do I think about this, or how would I feel about this thing that just happened? Like, we don't do that.
Yeah, it's hard.
Go.
I think that's the big part of the transition that we're going through right now, is that we're so flooded with consumption. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now, that's purpose though, right? Plays its part. So we could become producers more later on. You know what I mean? And consuming all this information and becoming used to that, so we could you got to balance that out too. You don't want to consume too much. So you want to produce something in your life.
Yeah, I mean that's where this stems from. I'm like, man, I'm itching. I'm just consuming all this information and entertainment, and I'm like,
now you're being external with it. You're letting it out.
Yeah, man. Like I'm itching to play shows again. I'm wanting to do. Obviously I've been getting physical. My health has been a big priority in my life. But also, like, man, let me talk to interesting people and, spread that message along. And just get everybody listening to different ideas, because everybody's got something to teach you.
Yeah, that's when I saw you started your podcast. I was thinking that because, like I was saying about I feel like there's, like, the men speaking up is kind of underground right now. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of little pockets of men that are, groups, and they're starting to, express themselves more. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you're playing a part in that right now. What you're doing right now, you don't know where it's going to end up.
No.
But you're creating yourself as you go. You know what I mean? You're creating your future, and that's going to impact your kids. You being a producer, being able to express yourself. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I tend to think about that, more often than not. What am I doing to, create the right environment for them to be the best person that they can? Because obviously I hope that they're way smarter than me,
right.
Way more successful than me, way happier than I am. And I say I'm pretty damn fucking happy in life right now. And, I have nobody else to thank but all the people that have come through my life, much like yourself, that I have learned from. Right. And taking the words that have been, shared with me and applying them to my own life's own situation, own outlook, and changing, man. I've probably changed my stance on a lot of different issues.
It's crazy, right?
A few times a year, I'm like, yeah, I feel like this, man.
That's
that
crazy.
Makes sense. And then it's like, whoa, I didn't consider this. I didn't consider seeing it from this angle. Like, I get that all the time with my lady, man. I'm like, we're two different people, man. When it comes to the way we see things, I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, I'm trying to be logical here. And she's like, look at it from this side. Yeah. Like, damn it, you're right. Yeah. And I find myself seceding a lot in certain situations, man, because I'm like, okay, yeah, I can come in and let my pride take over and try to defend why I did what I did and why I thought what I thought and what I said. But at the end of the day, I think it does, it says, like, be that bigger person. And you see all those posts like, fuck that. You're done being the bigger person. Like, go fuck some shit up, right? But it does take a lot more strength and wits to be that bigger person, and just know, man, that you're not going to win every little fight, every little battle, but ultimately you're going to become better.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I definitely think people teach us more about who we are and who we are becoming, right? Yeah. People that are in our lives, especially relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's like the big one.
Well, it's harder for us to see ourselves. So when people start describing what we're doing and critiquing it, we're like, what? I don't see that. It's like, well, open your eyes a little bit, step back, and you're like, oh shit, okay, you're right. Yeah. So let me see if I am still making the right move or the right decision or have the right stance. Because if I'm not, then I'm fucking myself up. You're pushing the people away from you that you need the most.
Yep. So
got a little deep.
Yeah, got a little deep. Yo, that's
went straight from the epidermis down into the underlayers.
Yeah, it's good to go deep sometimes, man.
I fucking love it, man. I love it.
That's where I'm at most of the time, honestly. That's where my thoughts are usually at. I'm constantly analyzing everything.
You read? Do you read a lot?
I don't actually read, but I do audiobooks. Audible or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. I do a lot of that.
Such a good fucking platform, man. I don't do that enough. But I have been reading a few books here and there.
Yeah. I can't focus on the book, but I can definitely focus on listening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's easier too, man, because you're commuting to work. How long does it take you to get to work?
Not long. 10 minutes.
But that's still 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Man. How far are you going to get reading a book for 10 minutes versus somebody, reading it to you?
Yeah.
You can even listen to, say you stop at the gas station on the way here and you got it in your earphone, you're listening to it there.
A lot of times when I start, though, for the day, like, I usually will drag it through the day as much as I can.
Yeah.
So, yeah, being able to listen is definitely easier to take in the information. And, with the books I listen to, I usually like to cycle through them a few times.
Yeah, pick up things that you might have missed.
Yeah. So you can process the whole thing. Because the first time around, you're not going to pick up a lot of the stuff, so...
No, that's a good move for sure. I mean, there's just things that you leave out. I mean, they say that the best way to learn something is obviously to, read it, write it, and then, I think say it out loud or something like that. So where it just kind of seats in, you know. And
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to teach it to somebody, that's when it like, you know, trying to, you know, teach somebody how to tattoo a certain technique, like, you know how to do it, but
Yeah.
now try to describe it to somebody.
Yeah, I haven't actually got into that yet. The whole mentoring somebody. I get people to ask me sometimes, but I'm not.
You're not ready.
I'm not in that space mentally right now to do that. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm ready.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it's, you know, especially somebody just being there all the time, you know, like, teach me, you know, do this. I'm like, I got too much going on right now.
Yeah, then when they fuck up and they don't keep up with, they're like, oh, Adam fucked up. Adam can't teach anybody.
It's a big thing to teach somebody, man. I take it seriously. There are some people in the tattoo space that kind of use it as a, you know, to their advantage, like business wise or financially. So they'll take on people so they can make money off of them, you know, and they're just producing people, like, pumping them out. Of course, that's not always like the most productive way to do it.
No, not at all.
So,
I mean, there's a place for it for sure. I mean, there's information that they're passing along, knowledge, valuable knowledge, and ultimately time. Time is the most valuable piece, you know, these days. So, you know, I guess, you know, they have a right to, you know, charge somebody if they're willing to learn and willing to pay. But, you know, if you're making a career out of that, that's where it might be a little, you know, shaky.
Yeah, it's a long road, man, being a tattoo artist. I'm reaching that stage right now where I wouldn't consider myself a master or anything like that, but I kind of feel like I'm reaching that mastery stage, you know what I mean? That 10-year stage where, you know, I got a good understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, it's good.
But as far as, you know, as a, you know, artist, it's just always growing, you know, it's never stopping. You're always learning all the time. So it's always evolving, especially artistic people's. There are artistic vision always growing, evolving. So yeah, it's always a challenge, you know.
There new techniques come out. Definitely new tools, you know, new and improved.
Yeah, I would say new techniques, ways of like how people are applying the ink. You know what I mean? I mean, they're applying it with needles, but how they're doing it, the techniques are, you know, there's always new ones or new styles coming out. Somebody wanted to get a dream catcher tattoo. Yeah, and I'm like, that's one of the things I don't want to do is dream catchers.
Wow, well, what do you got against dream catchers?
I don't know,
What's
man.
going on? I've heard
Something
somebody
about it.
recently talking shit about them too, and I was like, I never even thought about it. But they were talking shit about the people that would want a dream catcher tattoo.
I think the last one I did was pretty cool. It had the Metatron cube inside of it, if you're not familiar with that, but it also had like some Zodiac. It was a different type of like style of dream catcher, you know. But that things like that are kind of like trendy, you know. I think crosses are trendy.
Yeah,
for
sure.
I don't like tattooing crosses. Little ones are okay, but big ones, I'm like, you really want this big old cross on you? You know what I mean? Like, you can get something so much more creative, you know.
Yeah, it's a status piece, is what it is. You know, the praying hands, the cross. Like, there's certain pieces that are status pieces, like a tribal or the Aztec calendar, or what's another piece that I could really refer to? I don't know. I don't even know if I go say like angel wings.
I would say crosses are trendy for the most part, though, because like when it comes to tribal and stuff like that stuff's been around for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. That comes from a whole different like meaning where people had to have like a rite of passage to have tattoo. They had to have these tattoos, you know what I mean? But yeah, crosses don't represent any of that, you know what I mean, at all. They're just, I think a lot of people that get them don't even realize what they're actually getting, you know what I mean? Like, they just do it because it's a cross.
It's a cross, and it's a sign of some sort of religious.
Just like, you know, I don't want to go into religion too much, but just like religion people.
I love to get into religion. I do. We're
not gonna you're gonna lose some viewers.
Why?
Just kidding.
Maybe if you're gonna argue the non-religion, maybe I argue the religion side of it.
Oh, well, what side are you on?
Oh, I'm an atheist, mother.
Oh, I'm just kind of, if I see it, then I believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you were mentioning that there might be some shit up in this motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
The tattoo shop that we're in right now, this building, you've
definitely
felt
is.
something?
We had a paranormal investigator team come through here.
No shit.
They're legit. They had, like, all
So
their
I might be
equipment.
picking something up on these mics.
You might be picking up. So you might want to amplify the audio and listen to it later or something.
Oh, maybe after we're done with this, I'll take off the pad I got on.
But maybe you don't want to do that. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
We didn't catch anything crazy though. It was just, people. We were just voices. It wasn't nothing demonic or something like that. Yeah, it was nothing crazy. And
Just like some
I
whispering?
don't get no bad vibes in here either. So.
That's good. Well, you're a good person. So.
It's a chill ghost or something. You're just hanging out.
Some guy just looking for some Doritos. My Doritos.
But yeah, it's the religion part. I think a lot of people though, they claim it just because their parents did, and they don't really know what they're actually claiming.
Oh, for sure. Well,
it
starts at a young age. I'm speaking from experience, man. I used to go to church all the time. Like, I was really involved in all the groups, and it just because that's what I was around,
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really question it. Like, I didn't question it at all. Shit, man, I can't remember when I started, but my buddy, one of my friends was always he's in the Air Force. He came down and got an Aztec piece back when you were at that original shop.
Oh too. Yeah, Fernando.
Yeah. And he would always say, like, fuck all that religion shit, like, I don't believe this and that. And I'm like, come on, bro, are you gonna say that?
It definitely plays a part in our history though, right? Because I think we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for religion. And I think that goes along with everything, though.
Well, yeah, there's that theory.
I feel like there's nothing is. I feel like everything is meant to be how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So if you look at every civilized society, they all have some sort of religion. So evolutionarily speaking, there's a place for religion. Right. Whether it's, you want to take it as literal as well, these are the words in the Bible, the Quran, forget the Jewish one, the Torah. Like, you want to take them literal, or just take the stories and the underlying, meanings, then do that. But I can't take it literal.
I never could take it serious just because of the fact that there was a time before our time where people praise different gods to the same degree that we praise our gods now.
And the stories are similar.
And their mythology now, they're just like stories, and they're. So I feel like one day, we're going to have like Christian mythology. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like something when we get wiped out or something like that. They'll dig up stuff or something, Yeah. Yeah. So I can never take it serious. But it definitely plays a part in history.
Yeah. You can't just, shoo it away like it's nothing. I mean, there are some parts of it that you can apply, but for the most part, man, it just convinces people that they can just be, in essence, a shitty person and just be like, well, that's my religion. Yeah, it definitely doesn't really help people out with their morals and stuff, right? Because people like to argue that like it's teaching them morals, but I've seen a lot of same comparable dysfunctional families come from religious backgrounds and non-religious backgrounds. It's more of an environmental thing. It's not about religion. Yeah. Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, we're all just human, and we're trying to they're trying to interpret it, and they still have their own faults. Yeah. We have that dark side to us. We have the light side. For sure, man. You know what I mean? Well, what I find funny is like the people that were like, they see like something horrible happen. It's like, oh, they're a monster or this and that. I could never do that, and it's like you never know, man. You've never been pushed to that point where you might need to become that person. Yeah. Like we were that person already a bit in the past. The survival. Yeah, having to hunt and everything. What's it gonna be, man? What's it gonna be? It's in us, you know what I mean, to be savages. Yeah, you gotta survive, man. So that's a good thing, I think, for the future. If something happens crazy, because we have it in us to survive, and become that. We're trained. Yeah, I kind of need my Jack in the Box tacos. So as long as we sustain Jack. Jack in the Box. Oh man. Or the Burger King tacos. They can get rid of Jack in the Box. I'm good. Oh, no, for sure. Taco Bell. No, keep talking about it. Please don't. Yeah. What's your So was your family pretty religious growing up? My mom's a Jehovah's Witness. My dad. Oh, that's goddamn. How did I fucking forget that, bro? Yeah. I've had this family come over twice to knock, and they're like, yeah, well, I'm like, come on in, and they don't want to come in and sit down, but I'm like, I'll talk with you guys for sure. But that's right, you grew up Jehovah's Witness, man. So I wasn't in it, but my mom, because I was raised by my dad. My dad's kind of just, he don't practice any religion. He never has. Yeah. He's kind of whatever. He doesn't really put any thought into it, actually. It's just kind of trips me out because he don't have a thought or anything. But
Yeah, my mom Jehovah's Witness, hardcore still.
Still.
It kind of trips me out how somebody that's really smart and intellectual in a lot of different ways that can
Yeah.
still follow something that hasn't been around. It hasn't even been around that long, about 100 years,
Really?
which is a little speck of time. It's
Yeah.
nothing. So it really, I mean, I don't know. At the same time, though, I feel like that giving her strength that it gives her, that she feels that it gives her,
Yeah.
is kind of like it. She's still the rock in the family because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's still to some people it serves
It could
that
be
purpose.
any religion, though. It could be a different religion that's making her have that strength. You know what I mean? It works for her. So
Yeah, it's some sort of placebo, but
yeah,
if it works for her, that's the thing. That's like if it works for you and you're not really inflicting anything, that I don't want from that on me. But that's the thing. It's like they kind that Jehovah's Witness kind of do to an extent,
yeah, they knock on your door. Yeah,
I invite them in, man. I say, come in, man. They're always thrown back because I admit that I'm atheist. But that's when I explain. I was like, well, there's a difference. There's Gnostic and agnostic. And I used to call myself an agnostic, but I just say now I'm atheist. Like, yeah, until I see anything otherwise, I don't, live life like there is a God. But I'm not saying that there isn't one.
yeah.
But I just see all this evidence that why, like, no. I don't see anybody like, with the puppet strings or anything like that. Whether somebody maybe created this and just let it be, that's another story. But to go to the extent of the Bible, that type of shit, no.
The Bible stories.
Yeah, hell no, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Heaven and hell.
Yeah, no.
Seems to be a little bit more complex than that, but maybe not.
Yeah, who knows? We don't know. We don't know. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue trying to be a good person, and you're gonna tell me that this deity will send me to hell just because I didn't believe in a story that he put together very poorly.
Yeah.
Like, if he's all knowing, all powerful, he knows exactly how to reach me, and he has yet to do that. And not only that, so he's beyond time, right? He's beyond time. So he's at the end of the world and the universe and here now. So he knows how all this is gonna go. So how do I get punished for exactly how he laid out what I was going to do?
Right. If you already knew what
yeah, if you already know my ending, because you're not bound by space and time, how am I going to be
I feel like to a
punished?
certain extent, too, we are kind of like dispositioned by our genetics, you know what I mean?
How so?
Like, in which direction we are going, you know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody has, it's just like, you're not probably, going to be a politician or something like that. Like, whoever you're going to be is kind of like who you're going to be.
You're talking about the theory that there almost like that there is no free will.
Yeah,
We don't have free will because of our experiences, of our hereditary, our genes, like all that stuff that's like ingrained in us.
Just this like line of decisions that you are part of. Yeah, just keep going forward. You know what I mean?
You think you're making these decisions, but it's all based on the previous ones that have been made by you or for you.
Yeah, it's somehow already predetermined a little bit. I don't know to what extent, but I kind of feel that way though. Like I definitely do believe though that things happen for reasons, or they not coincidences. That things are just happening; they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of gone back and forth with that, but I do believe that now that things happen the way they're supposed to. So.
Well, just because they kind of like lay out for you and they're so easy. When they come through, you're like, wow, this is exactly what I needed in this moment.
But I always say, the most important time is the present, though. So, if we have some type of afterlife, just call that a bonus round or something.
Yeah, we don't focus enough on the present. We're constantly, going through our photos or history, like, this was yesterday or this is this. And then, oh, tomorrow I got this. Tomorrow this is happening. Or what do I got going on tomorrow? It's like, hey, take a moment and just sit in today.
Yeah, that's hard, though.
Fuck, it is hard.
There's so much going on.
Man. I got so much shit going on.
Yeah, I struggle with that a lot, man, being present all the time. Yeah, because my mind's always going all the time.
Do you try to meditate at all?
I don't have, no, I don't really like literally meditate.
Yeah.
No, I have my night ritual that I do, which is just basically music,
Epsom
lights.
salt and Grey's Anatomy.
And some bath bombs or something.
Yeah.
A little bit of some wine or something.
Hey, what's your choice to drink these days?
Fucking water, man.
Water? You're too good, man. You're too good.
I don't know. I spent so much of my life putting shit in my body, you know what I mean? Poisons and shit. So I just want to just be purified and shit. You know what I'm saying?
No marijuana.
Oh no, I smoke a little weed sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah, I have a little stash in my house.
I just got to make sure because I wouldn't even say that's poison, but some people listening
Yeah.
could picture that being poison. That's such
They do. They don't understand. They should get high and find out.
Yeah, man. It's people
not
are
that
so
serious.
scared. They're so scared to to get in touch with that side, and it's not doing anything, man. That's the whole thing about these drugs is that they're not doing anything to us. They're opening the floodgates of what our body is already capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like the key to open up the door that's already in us. And dude, I want to try mushrooms so bad, man. Like,
I've tried it before.
But how old were you?
I was
a child.
14, 15.
A child, dude.
Yeah, so it's definitely, I feel like it's harder to do it now because you're so in control of your life now. Easier to be not in control when you're that age, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like everybody I've talked to that is kind of like, oh no, I'm not into it. I already did it or whatnot. They all did it when they were under 20 years old.
Yeah.
You're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it was just
right now.
Just because
I would do it to use it as a tool, man. Because what I hear is that it expands your mind, it reduces stress, depression, it makes you more, at peace. You develop this bigger understanding that it's almost religious. It's fucking religious. It's where it's like there's something bigger than you, and you need to kind of like let go of all that unnecessary stress.
Yeah.
But everybody I talk to, they're like, "Oh, I was just young." I was like, "Well, yeah, you did it for the fucking wrong reasons, dude."
I wouldn't do it now just because I like to be in control of my mind now.
Oh, then I'll put the shit away. Hold on.
But smoke a little herb sometime is cool. It doesn't it's harmless. Because I, smoke a little baby, little, you know what I mean, little baby hits, and I'm good. But clean my whole house or something like that. Or listen to draw or whatever, do something creative.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
But what was I talking about before all this? I think we branched off of.
About the herb? Well, we were talking about religion there for a minute.
Talking about religion, meditation. Oh, the practice, my ritual at night. Yeah. It's just simple. It's just tea and lights and music, art and sound, because I've been learning about like light healing, like certain lights, affect your energy.
Yeah, the blue light.
Yeah, so put my light on and just drink my tea and have a little water fountain thing in there, like a little waterfall thing.
Yeah.
That's my ritual. It helps calm me. But I think the number one problem we are having these days is our phones, though.
Huge.
Being by our bed, our inner bed with us.
Yeah, I'm the number one offender.
That thing, I think everyone is, because now this thing is becoming attached to us,
Yeah.
It's like the first stages of being integrated,
Yeah, being a cyborg.
Yep. That's what's going on. But that thing keeps you awake, though.
It does. Well, there's that woo-woo shit. I've been watching a few podcasts on where they they get rid of all the Wi-Fi, anything Bluetooth like in their house.
I wonder how that, man. I'm curious. I was thinking about that today, actually.
We're foolish, man, to think that it's not having some sort of effect on us.
It definitely is. You know what I mean? Because we're not lit. I mean, we're on this little slice of time right now, right? That's different than any part of past existences. We never lived amongst all this radio signals and Wi-Fi signals and everything.
Bombarded. We're being bombarded.
And we're electrical impulse beings or whatever. So it has to
there's synapses in our brain.
Yeah, it has to affect our brain. I definitely think it does affect your sleep and stuff like that. So.
No doubt.
But it's so hard to be away from the phone and while you're sleeping.
Bro, if I'm in the bathroom without my phone, it's like the worst tragedy. No, fuck! I gotta finish on time over here. Like, what's going on?
I'll put that thing on when I'm listening to something, and I'll just like a podcast, and I'll turn it up while I'm in the shower listening to it.
Yep. Yeah, man. I got it.
Going.
Up on the windowsill, it gets fucking really good.
Oh
acoustics up there, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Hell yeah, man. And I'll like usually my wife is getting ready, for work. Right outside the bathroom, as I'm taking a shower, and I'll hear her laughing, or, I'll get out and she'll be like, oh, had something to say about what was going on. And I was like, damn, you heard that? It's like, yeah, it's fucking, it's loud in there. you know. But yeah, I'm constantly consuming information, man. But the thing about like the Wi-Fi stuff and the Bluetooth, like that's another reason why I'm like religion again, back to religion. It's like, okay, so you're telling me that we're the perfect being, we were made in his image, and this world was made for us. It's like, okay, well, why can't we see radio waves? Why can't we see the magnetic sphere and all those waves, which is how birds migrate? Why can't we see at night? Why aren't we nocturnal like that? Why can't we breathe underwater when we're made out of water and this world is mostly water? Like, why wouldn't we be able to breathe underwater? It's just all types of shit like that. How do we eat and breathe out of the same fucking hole? Why are our sexual organs next to our sewage organs? Like, just that type of shit, man. Your homeboy's bouncing right here, man. Is that Leche?
No, that's Victor. He's I would say the owner.
Okay.
He doesn't really own anything though, because we're all paying rent here. So he just owns his stuff in his room.
He's just got a really nice placard on his desk.
He just owns his stuff around him. We're all renting space here.
All right. Well, but appreciate you saying bye, Victor.
Oh yeah. He's a cool dude, man. Coolest dude I ever worked. I won't say I worked for him though, because nobody works for anybody in here. We all work for ourselves. So.
You refer to like independent contractors at this point? Or?
Yeah, that's why I say it's a collective space. That's why I look at it.
Is that why nobody's washing these dishes? Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Ain't no dishes there. Ain't no dishes. It's all clean. It's clean.
We got our chore list up there. It doesn't always get checked off, but that's how it is.
Yeah, you guys are trying. We're all trying.
Yeah, it's kind of cool being able to be your own boss, though. Let's switch gears to something else now. Yeah. But because you're kind of being freed, you know what I mean, of having to be in that workforce or whatever, or working for a corporation or something like that, or working under somebody. So man, I feel blessed because of that.
At first, I mean, you were mentioning where you were scared, right? It's frightening at first.
It is, because you not promised any. You know, you don't have a salary.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? You're not getting paid. You don't have medical benefits or nothing. You have to do everything on your own. So it is. You get used to it though. You don't even think about it after a while. But at first, you know, you're like, man, am I gonna be able to pay my rent? You know what I mean? But once it's built up to the point it is now, it just comes. You know what I mean? Just like people show up to Starbucks every day to get their coffee. You know? It's established so people know where to get their coffee. I don't go to Starbucks myself, though. I haven't been there in a long time.
No, what's your preference?
I like
Dunkin's.
I like regular home brewed coffee.
Home brewed. What do you buy? Euban.
I got a
Maxwell House.
Freaking cheapest. I got the cheapest coffee maker. It just brews the coffee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what type of coffee?
I tried different stuff, man. I recently, honestly, trying to stop drinking coffee, so I switched to decaf.
Okay.
So I switched that because you had to taper off that stuff.
Yeah, man, it's kind of like it's a morning ritual in its own, you know, having coffee.
I love the way it tastes, but
yeah. Dude, my coworker was he was walking by me like it was like 11:30 this morning and this afternoon, whatever, and he normally goes for coffee, and I'm like, please don't ask me because I'm gonna say yes, and I don't want so.
And you already had some?
No, I didn't have some yet. No, so I was doing good on that part. Because I've been there, dude. I've had fucking 3 different orders in one day at one point. And he walked past me, and I was like, there he goes. And then he's like, hey, man, I'm going for coffee. You want some? I was like, God damn it. I was like, yeah, I'll take some. And it was delicious.
Where was it from, though?
Where did he go? I think he might have gone to Starbucks. Yeah. But, you know, he got it iced. I usually don't do ice, so I fucking slammed it real quick. So then I was pretty hyped for you know, the next 45 minutes or so. But yeah, it's a ritual in itself. Like I try to skip breakfast actually, man, in general. The only reason I'll eat breakfast is because I'm eating it with the family. That's it. Otherwise, I try to skip out and hold out as long as I can. Usually have a snack like around 11:30.
Are you tracking your hours you're eating, or so you're doing the fast?
I'm trying to. Right now, I've gotten a little lazy, as you can see. You know, I pulled my hamstring. My ankles are fucking bust. Like, I was happy at where I was. You know how I was feeling. So I've definitely gotten really laxed. But for the most part, yeah, I was trying to like skip breakfast for sure, and then eat in a smaller window. Yeah. But I love breakfast. I'm living, man. I'm living.
How much weight did you lose?
I was 250 at my heaviest, and I got down to 182, and right now I'm hanging around like 198.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, man. That was, and I attributed all that to diet, man. I 89, 90% of it was all diet. Yeah, I worked out here and there and started doing yoga, which I fucking love. I recommend yoga, everybody and anybody. You know, if you're limited in movement, do what you can. There's different stuff out there. But because that's the thing, like I wanted to get strong, but not like just bulky strong. I want to be functional. I want long, lean muscles. I want to be healthy. Because when I said I went keto, everybody's like, oh, this diet works for me. This diet works for me. I was like, listen, I know how to lose weight. You don't open your mouth. You don't put food in your mouth. That's not the key. I'm not just trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be healthy. So I wasn't looking for a particular number on the scale, because that can be, an issue for most people too. Because if you become goal oriented, so say I wanted to get down to 185. What happens when I get down to 185? I'm like, well, I'm here. Fuck it. That's what it is. But it was really just trying to be healthier and be more mindful. And because I'm listening to so much information, like I was taking in all this information on health and diet, and I'm like, what am I doing?
I think it's good to.
What am I doing?
If you're gonna go down a path of losing weight, then you want to set some type of weight goal.
There's
people want to lose weight. That's the first thing they think of, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I tell everybody. Look, listen. The way I did it was I didn't have a strict regimen. I didn't have like, this is what I'm doing this day. This is what I'm gonna do this way. This is what I'm eating. This is the workout I'm doing. I did not do that. I just said, I'm going to get up and do it. And I'm going to not eat this, not eat that. And yeah, I could have maybe made greater strides if I was a little bit more strict and had more of a regiment. But at the same time, would have been as happy doing it that way.
Yeah.
No. I can say I wouldn't have been. Maybe somebody else would,
Yeah. Every diet works, but it doesn't work. Everyone works for somebody else, something different.
No, everybody's a little bit different. And that's why they tell you, it's like, what diet's going to work for you? The one you're going to fucking stick to. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So you can go paleo, you can go keto, you can go fucking vegetarian, vegan. If you're going to stick with it and eat healthy stuff, then, that's the right one for you. That's it.
Yeah, I don't follow anything, man. I just eat. I just eat whatever.
I just consume.
I just lift heavy weights and eat.
Rah. Yeah, I can see, man. Your shoulders are like forward, because that's the thing about yoga. They teach you like shoulders back, shoulders down.
Yeah.
Because you get like this, you get like hunched over, man, and you start. That affects how you breathe.
I need to start doing yoga, man. I was actually looking up a place right down the street. Just because I'm trying to deal with this anxiety stuff, man. I'm having super severe anxiety.
Oh man, you gotta do something.
It's intense.
You gotta do something. The quote on my page is, okay, first off, what's your diet, exercise, and sleep routine look like? Because we're so quick to just go medicate.
Right.
Go find something to put into our body to make us feel better, when we're not doing ourselves any favors by trying to do what we can.
Yeah, definitely.
Food is medicine.
And definitely, yeah. What you put in your body, mentally, physically, sleep is very important. I'd be taking naps now. So.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it's nice. I love taking naps. This is the first time in life taking naps.
That's awesome, dude. No, we fucking need your sleep.
Yeah.
People, it's frowned upon, It's like that American ingenuity, that hard work. It's like, okay, yeah. But what happens when, 50, 60 comes along?
Yeah, that whole sleep when you're dead saying.
Yeah.
But if you don't sleep, you're going to die faster. You're not sleeping, right?
Yeah, dude. My dad just passed away in February. 61, dude. 61.
Oh, yeah?
And he was a workaholic.
Damn.
Workaholic.
What did he do? What was his...
His main gig was working at a cattle ranch. He was a foreman at this ranch. We would, and that was one of my first jobs, was working there. So he was out in the heat in freaking the Sonoran Desert, like day in, day out, dude, for like 28 years.
It's a tragedy, man, that, man, we fell into this, a lot of men fall into that death, occupation.
Yeah.
Where it's killing,
It's killing, dude.
It's killing, man, constantly, every day.
So it was good. I was working in that. My uncles worked there. I had a lot of family and friends that worked there. And, they were like, hey, continue going to school, do this, do that, so you're not out here with us.
Right.
They knew it. nobody wants to be out there like that.
That's what pays, though. It pays.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Nobody,
You got mouths at the table. What are you gonna do? You're gonna figure out a way.
The more desirable jobs don't pay, so we don't take those ones because we can't, right? Because we got to provide.
Yeah.
Well, except for myself.
Oh, we got it made here at IF Tattoo Studios.
That's why I feel blessed, man, because I'm able to exercise that creative side of my brain a lot every day. You know what I mean? And so I crave that. I crave like being able to be creative in every aspect, not just tattooing. There's so many different creative ways to express yourself. Art, you know what I mean? Visually.
Yeah.
So, I feel lucky to be in that space, man, because it's probably gonna let me live a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. I think both my grandpas died in their 60s, early 60s. Shit. Yeah, one died from drinking too much. And I never really thought about why he always had a beer in his hand. You know what I mean?
You don't think about that,
you don't. But then I got older, I'm like, yo, he had 7 kids. You know what I mean?
What else he gonna do, man?
That was his escape every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Provide and escape was his routine. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is.
And it killed him,
That's it, man. All you want to do is come home. And I fight that sometimes too, man. I want to come home and they're like, Daddy's home. It's time to play. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, let me eat. Let me do this. But you got to shake that shit off, man. You got to shake that shit off, because that's one thing that my father didn't do was really play along with us. Yeah. I mean, he was a tough cat, man.
You had to be, though.
You had to be. Well, dude, he came here illegally when
he
was 15.
Yeah, they all paved the way for us, man.
Yeah. He came here when he was 15, dude, and worked the fields, worked his ass off, dude, and became naturalized. He became a citizen. But, it was fucking a fight from day one.
Yeah.
From day one.
So, yeah, I thought about that, too, about, like, when I used to think back about how my parents' relationship was dysfunctional, because, you think back, a lot of them are dysfunctional, right? But they're kind of like a type 1, relationship, you know what I mean? And we're moving into this type 2 type of relationship. But there was all necessary. It was functional. Wasn't that healthy, but it was functional.
Yeah.
But they all paved the way for us to be where we're at now and to have more options, you know what I mean? And the life quality is better because technology, The women nurtured the man to create and build what we did, and now we're here. And now we got to transition to something else.
Become more than what we are.
Yeah. We got to speak up. We got to start standing up for ourselves and communicate better.
So what do you want to tell the men out there right now?
Man. What do I want to tell the men?
Yeah.
Stop being little bitches. That's kidding.
Oh, okay.
Nah, man up, man. Or I don't know. Man up, man down. I don't know.
Man up to your emotions. Is that what you're trying to get?
Yeah.
Man up
to your emotions.
To the emotions. Don't shove them down. Fucking face them head on and find somebody to face them with you.
I think we got to like stop following the past so much, you know what I mean? Because we think that the past traditions are the old ways were, that we need to actually be like them or be like our fathers or be like our grandpas. Mm-hmm. But we need to evolve, you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of guys get stuck on that. Yeah. That they need to be like them, because that's the way it was and that's the way they were raised. But I think we just need to embrace, change in ourselves. That's the only way we're going to survive this new era.
Yeah, it's evolution. Change or die, man. Yeah. Evolve or die.
Yeah, we have to, because, we're, right now are powerless right now because, being, a lot of men become the plow horses in the relationship, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we have to just learn how to evolve and embrace change and, better ourselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad about that. I'm like, I never really asked him that, but, I can observe by his life, he never really got a chance to do that, to intake information to make himself better.
Yeah.
But, I'm on the other side of that now, you know what I mean? And every other father is too. So we don't want to follow the same patterns. We want to break out of those patterns, you know what I mean? Because they don't work anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's a new age.
Yep.
So we have to evolve.
Yep.
Or else we're just fucking destined to repeat the fucking faults that our parents made.
I think it's inevitable that we will evolve. You know, we're going to anyways. It's just it's gonna come on its own. It's already happening. But yeah, man, I'm glad to be here with you today, man.
Yeah, this was fun, man. Catching up with you.
Yeah,
Man.
it's been a long time, man.
Yeah,
I mean, we both, we've been through a lot to be where we're at right now.
Yeah, we definitely have. So I was super excited when I walked in here, saw the place. You know, it's very nice, and saw you, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I haven't seen you in a minute." And you know, I see your posts. You know, your little man and all that.
It's crazy though, right? When you see people you know, and you see them, but you don't really like get to like, I don't know. There's like a gap. There's like a wall between you two. When you're observing people on social media.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
It's like you see them, but you don't really like. You know what I mean?
It's connecting us, but at the same time,
there's a big disconnection between people. You know what I mean?
And not only that, like say I'm on there, you know, following, what's Adam been up to, and I'm on my phone, and if I'm in front of my kids, I'm disconnecting myself from the kids to see what these other people are up to.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to really choose, you know, tread lightly on what your choices are going to be.
I think that's one thing that's cool about what I do as a tattoo artist, because I'm like face to face with people, different people every day. You know what I mean? So, and they're like, you know, they're in my chair and they're willing to listen to what I gotta say.
Yeah, you're connecting with people on another level. Like I can picture like somebody working in a call center. It's like, you're talking to people, but you're not talking
all
to
day.
people,
You're super disconnected all day.
Fuck,
you're reading a script. You're on idle. You know what I mean? You're just a freaking robot. You know what I mean? Ugh. You hate your life.
I did one of those for a minute. Fuck that. Never again.
Yeah, I never did the call center stuff.
No, I don't recommend it. No, but it was great catching up with you, man, and I hope we can do this again soon.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Where can people follow you online to see your work and maybe get booked? Well, we be looking.
We got my Instagram, which is probably the most used.
Yeah,
it's Adam Tats #2.
Adam Tats 2.
Adam Tats 2.
#2.
Instagram. And I mean, that's pretty much my main direct contact there. You can get my email through that. I mean, I have my website too. It's thirdrealmtattoo.com. I need to update that actually. But that's active and you can connect. But a lot of people haven't contacted me. Everybody does social media, you know what I mean?
Just like Facebook and Instagram.
Mostly Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where everybody's at right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of channel everybody. It's hard to channel everybody through one platform, you know, because people.
Yeah, everybody has their own.
They have their own preference of how to communicate with people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Instagram, Adam Tats 2. Reach me there.
Tats with an S and then 2.
Yeah, TATTS.
TATTS 2.
Yeah.
Perfect, man. Well, what days are you here? Is it by appointment or?
I'm all by appointment only. I work practically almost every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I know this was like a month in the making, you know, hitting and missing different dates, but it's beautiful that we.
That's why I was like, we should do this tonight, man, because it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen again. Let's go a little bit late.
My mind is so scattered too because I have people that message me all the time.
Oh, for sure.
Like I don't even think people realize, you know, to what degree, like how it kind of changes you when people are constantly messaging you and it's your work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, you kind of become like disconnected from the message, people messaging you. Like, yeah. And you had to kind of like pick and choose or when you're going to respond to that person, you know, based off if you know they're going to, you know, I'll hit that message later, you know what I mean? Because it's not urgent or whatever.
Or if they hit that message and then they come see you here and be like, hey, did you get my message? Like, oh, shit, this guy's for real.
I'm usually pretty good at responding, though. Pretty fast. But, you know, just and that trickles into my personal life. So I have people, like, on a personal level that message me, and I'm just like, I'm kind of like,
you're like, hey, I'm not in work mode right now, man.
I kind of don't even want to message them back. Cause I'm like,
I got my my warm bath wine and Grey's Anatomy on right now, man. So you can't talk to me right now.
That's probably why most, you know, we get to a certain level, you don't even reply to people anymore. It's just it's automated or just someone that's
automated or somebody doing it for you.
Yeah, because you can't, because it's just too much to deal with. I'm reaching that level slowly. You know what I mean? I'll get there where it has to be automatic response thing or
well, that'll
something.
be good, man, because then you'll be at a steady flow of, you know, what sort of like income you can rely on.
Yeah.
So that'll be awesome.
Yeah. The good thing about it's always growing, you know what I mean? The tattoo as yourself, you know, as you keep growing, you're the producer, the creator, everything.
Yeah.
So
like you say, you're your own boss, man.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
You tell yourself when you're going to work and for how long.
But then you end up just working all the time.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You're like, oh, I can work whenever I want. I'm not even gonna work that much, and then it's like you're working fucking.
I think
more
somebody
than you
had
ever
told
would.
me. I think somebody had told me that their dream job would be sitting on a beach tasting liquor or something like that.
Nah,
I'm like, that sounds terrible.
it sounds terrible. That's everybody's idea of like vacation or retirement.
That would get old in like a week.
Yeah, a week. Then what? We need something to focus on.
Yeah, you gotta be doing something.
Dude, there was some I think Indian guy on this podcast, and he's like, bro, he was like some venture capitalist, like invested in a bunch of, you know, companies and whatnot, and you know, become, you know, rich and wealthy and set. He's like, the only thing that gets me out of my house is art. That's the only thing I travel for now. Like, cause that's all we live for. So I find it funny when people make fun of, like, you know, artists or creators, or it's like, oh, you should have picked a hobby or a career that was more this, more that. But it's like, you work your job so you can go watch a movie, listen to music, do this, appreciate something. You buy artwork, you buy a t-shirt, like you live to consume art. And then you're going to turn around and make fun of people that chose art as their career or their life's passion. And that's silly, man, because that's all we live for, is art and expression. At the end of the day, that's all we live for.
Everything is coming back to art. Yeah. Everything has to be created.
Perfect, man. Well, let's wrap this up, man.
All right, man. Yeah, it's been good talking to you. Maybe we can do this later on.
Dude, whenever you want. Yeah. Whenever you want. I'm gonna try and get my
maybe we can do like add somebody in the podcast.
Yeah.
I have one of my friends in here. We could jump in.
Yeah, definitely. I did a 3-person podcast on Friday, which I just posted today. So that went well, you know. So
yeah, that'll be definitely cool. Yeah, that'll be a good one, because these guys are fun. These are crazy in here.
Yeah. These few that I've been doing a lot more interview style, but eventually I want to get to the point where we're just shooting the shit, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what's up? What's new? What's funny? You know, what's happening?
All right, man.
So, all right, cool. Guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to this one time. My guest today has been Adam Molina, based in IF Tattoo Studios in Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah.
Book them and get tatted up.
Come see me.
All right.